Good morning and welcome to this morning's webinar on Instagram for business, latest trends. I'm Kasia and excuse my appearance today because I've got a bit of an eye infection, so I'm a little bit not as bright, but I will still do my best to deliver a great webinar. So I shall kick off. So for those of you that are tuned in, I can see a few of us are here now. Thanks for being here. And if you have any questions at all during the webinar, please feel free to actually put them into the chat box, which should be at the bottom of your Zoom panel on your screen. And then I'll do my best to answer them. And for those of you that are tuning into this afterwards or watching it again, as the recording will be sent out to you, I would love to hear your feedback also. So feel free to get in touch. And let's get started, guys. So today we are going to be looking at latest trends for business, of course, on Instagram. And I have to say, I really love teaching this topic the most in terms of social media platforms for business, not only because it's never boring, seeing as it's always changing, but also because it's just giving us so many opportunities to actually create lasting connections with real people, and it's extremely powerful. So I'm going to cover all the latest and greatest things with you that we can look at on how to apply for your business. And just also noting that this presentation is brought to you by Business Station and the ASBAS Digital Solutions Program. You can also head onto their website if you'd like to learn more. There is a new format of the program rolling out as well, I believe as of August, September. So you'll be able to register your interest for the new program and or tune into upcoming events such as webinars like this and workshops in your area that will all be free. So just to kick off, I love this stat. So in terms of engagement with brands, Instagram 10 times higher than Facebook. I'd say sometimes even more than that. 54 times higher than Pinterest and 84 times higher than Twitter. When I started teaching Instagram for business workshops, 3.5 years ago, actually now, we would open by saying, Instagram offers the highest organic engagement rate of all the platforms, organic meaning unpaid. So it's just incredible. And I'm going to show you some ways in which you can harness and maximize this power to get your business or your brand out there. And guys, for those of you that are tuning in now, feel free to also pop your Instagram handles into the chat box here. I'll start by popping mine in so that you can also follow one another, because this is a great example of how you can actually network and follow real businesses and people on Instagram and make these connections. Anyhow, just to reiterate what I'm going to be specifically going over with you guys this morning, I'm going to be giving you an overview of Instagram's latest features and updates, and specifically I'm going to be covering how you can make the most of them for your business. And just to introduce myself to you guys who haven't met me yet, I am a digital marketing advisor for Business Station, and I have been for nearly 2.5 years now. I love this program, and I've actually loved using it for my business also, because I'm a small business owner. I have an agency called McNaught Media. I'm the creative director, and we look after social media marketing and branding. I'm also just to not be boring, I'm a gym junkie, hiking enthusiast when I've got more energy, beach lover in summer, and a crazy cat lady. So I've also had my, I've had my agency for 5.5 years now as well. And I've worked in offline and online, traditional and outdoor marketing my whole career. So I've got over 15 years of online and offline marketing experience, which I'm going to share with you guys. So first of all, if you're not yet convinced as to why you should be using Instagram for your business, hopefully after today, you will be. So for, what I like to always go over is the fact that first and foremost, Instagram's always been a social networking app, social media app, but it really started off as a visual sharing platform. So, I have always loved Instagram for the artistic and the aesthetic point of view. I was always following artists and photographers, etc. But it's evolved into so much more than that. And the real power of where this comes into being so incredible for business is that this platform's really created to connect people to people. And with the most recent announcements from Instagram, it freaked quite a lot of people out because they announced a couple of weeks ago, that the platform is moving into prioritizing video content above all other content. So that made a lot of people go, oh my gosh, it's making it a lot harder and so on. But actually, there are ways that you can really maximize this, which I'm going to go over. And it hasn't quite got there yet in terms of videos always king on the social platforms, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still post, image posts or carousel posts, as in multiple image posts. It's just good to have a mix, and definitely consider having and applying some video content also. I mean, if any of you guys use Canva, you can actually use some great templates on there, even to create reels, which I'm going to touch on what they are, the latest, greatest video content on Instagram. But even, if you use, instead of using a static, for example, static graphic, if you use a GIF or an animated graphic, that counts as video if it has a bit of movement. So it doesn't mean you have to, always be, in a full-blown video production to integrate it into your content plan. Cool. So just to give you a little bit of a update as to the numbers, on Instagram, we have over 1 billion monthly active users worldwide. As we were sort of touching on at the beginning, posts on Instagram have the highest engagement rate of all the social platforms, which is awesome, because especially Facebook now for business pages, for the last few years, in fact, has really been a pay-to-play platform, meaning if you don't pay to promote your content on Facebook, you're not as likely to get maximum engagement and views compared to Instagram, because the algorithm on Facebook for the last few years as well has been prioritized to show us content from our personal connections and friends rather than businesses. One good way of getting around that, just as an aside, is, Facebook groups are extremely powerful. Sharing into Facebook groups from your business page that are relevant to your customer base. However, Instagram just seems to keep getting better and better in terms of developing and providing endless opportunities for businesses to develop new ways of engaging with their customers online. And what I love as well about Instagram is that it really has become its own search engine. So we can even refer to it as Insta Google, and I'll show you a bit more why. And as for Instagram use in Australia, because I always want to make this as relevant as possible to where we are. Over 9 million monthly active Australian users, and Instagram is actually the second most popular platform for medium businesses to advertise on in Australia. I mean, Facebook being the first, but as they own Instagram, much of a muchness. And, you know, but this is really great. Australians love using Instagram to connect with friends and family, as well as brands or businesses. And 40% of people are now actually shopping directly from Instagram, which, you know, brings us to the fact that Instagram really does have a strong impact on shopping journeys, which ties into that Google search engine capacity and reference. So, you know, half of people on Instagram are following at least one business, and Instagram people are 70% more likely to actually make mobile purchases than non-Instagrammers. They also spend the most per order as well, statistically speaking. And 80% of people, I put of there, Instagrammers, decide whether to buy a product or service from the platform. So as you can see here, you know, people surveyed have said that Instagram helps them with the following. So over 80% of all people surveyed here, and this is a very recent stat in terms of it's from the beginning of this year. So, you know, 83% of them are using it to discover new products or services, 81% to research products or services, and 80% to decide whether to buy a product or service. So, yeah, if any of you have just tuned in a little bit later, I just was going to say thanks for being here, and excuse my, I'm a bit blurry today because I have an eye infection, but please also feel free to pop any questions you have into the chat box. And yeah, I'll also do my best to integrate them. So we'll go back to our exciting bit where I'm actually going to get a bit more into the actual latest features and updates, including the top tips and tools. Okay, so Instagram stories. So, you know, when any of the social platforms or tech giants bring out a feature, or a new platform emerges with a feature that works well, you'll see that they always will copy one another. So Instagram stories, that was Instagram copying the format of Snapchat back in 2013. And it's just really taken off. And it's hugely beneficial as well for business. So stories, you know, these are the ones that, if you're not familiar with, the little circles that appear on the top of the news feed, or the feed of home feed rather of Instagram, and they appear at the top there, and they'll disappear after 24 hours. However, you can save them to your profile as story highlights, and whichever story highlight you, sorry, that's my gym one, or whichever story highlight you update the most recently will actually be bumped up to appear first on your profile. So you can actually use these story highlights to inform your clients or customers. So, you know, it could be, another useful way. For example, have a client that does wedding packages at their function venue. So it could be, you know, our packages, or it could be our menu or our services, because a lot of people now are actually watching the stories at the top of the feed rather than scrolling to just look at posts. So over 500 million Instagram accounts are using stories every single day, and over 58% of people surveyed say that they've become more interested in a brand or a product after seeing it in stories, and 50% of people surveyed say they have visited a website to buy a product or service as a result of seeing it in stories. It is really a cultural phenomenon that connects, as they say on Instagram's official site. So stories really give businesses the power to communicate creatively and easily interact. So, you know, think vertical. People actually look to stories for inspiration. So you can really use this full screen vertical canvas to tell your brand's story. Something that's really great to engage with customers as well is, you know, for example, polls where you can ask them for their feedback or opinion, to vote on, you know, a new product that you're bringing out, what flavor would they prefer. You can really interact with them. And what Stories does is it really gives you a chance to increase your engagement and also, you know, express the creativity of your brand and inspire interest and action throughout the customer journey. Also, you know, you can take your customers behind the scenes. You know, don't underestimate how much people enjoy being part of your journey. The other day, I actually just posted some behind the scenes videos and footage from a photo shoot I recently had for my business. And you would, yeah, it was as usual, you know, never guess. I look at the insights, and that post had, you know, over, I think it was 85% more engagement than most of my recent posts. So yeah, don't forget to also invite people in to see, you know, what goes on behind the scenes rather than just the finished shiny product, you know. Which brings me to this point, which is the whole premise of this, which is to make your brand relatable, you know. So people love it when they can see that, you know, there's a real human or humans behind the screen, so to speak, you know. And Stories really is the fastest growing place to build brand love. Again, I love relating to Australia. Australians are sharing 1 million Instagram stories every day. And it's great, as we were just sort of touching on, to show behind the scenes insights into your business and the people who work there. And, you know, when we're doing all of this work, of course, we don't want them to just vanish after 24 hours. So yeah, as we just looked at before, you can save your stories as highlights on your Instagram business profile, so that they're featured there with the most recent one up, you know, being bumped to the front in terms of the highlight category, so that you can really allow people to re-engage with them. Yeah, so that's Stories, which is a huge opportunity. Even when you are, you know, posting on your feed, I'll just do this for a second. Even when you are posting on your Instagram feed, something that's great to do is, you know, even sharing your post to your story, you know, at the very least, if you're starting out with Stories, so that you're, I'm just finding an example for you guys, so that you're not only posting on your feed. So having a look here, if I go to my most recent post, that was actually the one I mentioned about the behind the scenes at the photo shoot. It's got a few things on there. Anyway, the little paper plane icon that you see there, I'm just going to tap on it. It then comes up like this, and it says add post to your story. And then you can choose from up the top to add text, or there's this icon here, which gives you stickers, etc. So then you can either press that or send to, and then your story, you know, you could even put a little sticker saying, you know, new post, a little GIF. So it's just another chance of people seeing your, you know, seeing your post if they haven't, you know, been scrolling on the feed. So just a little tip to start you with Stories, but there's heaps of things you can do with the Stories camera, and, you know, record them there and then in the moment, or you can upload photos or video from your camera roll. But if you haven't got a strategy in place to share some stories, at least, you know, a few times a week, I would thoroughly recommend it. Even a florist, very lovely, well-known florist business in Perth that we were helping, they had a great following, have a great following, beautiful photos and content on their feed, looked stunning, but their engagement wasn't as high as it should have been. So what we did is started getting them to share some stories and also showing, like, again, sort of behind the scenes when they were loading the flowers into the back of the truck, when they were selecting the, flowers or the whatever was in season for the daily bouquets, etc. Showing the people who are working behind the business, customers, whatever they could. And anyway, long story short is that their engagement went up tenfold, massively. And even I didn't even mention the interacting with your customers through the stories, asking them for feedback. So don't miss out on that. It's a very powerful opportunity to really connect. So I shall get back, and now we're going to talk about Instagram Reels. So at the start of the presentation, I did touch on the fact that Instagram has announced in the last few weeks, earlier this month, that they are going to be moving towards becoming a video first platform, which is a big thing because, when Instagram first came into existence, you couldn't actually post a video on there. It was only image sharing, which has since really, evolved and taken off and, grown massively. When I started teaching Instagram for business 3 and a bit years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was now, used to do, one workshop. Still was a lot to cover, but it was, introduction to Instagram for business workshop. Now, a few years later, the other day, my colleague and I, Sarah Thompson from Online Social Butterfly, who's also an advisor, between the two of us at City of Kwinana, we taught 3 different workshops, all on, different features on Instagram for business. So what I'm trying to say is it's evolved so much, and the fundamentals are still, extremely important. But if you can up your game a bit by implementing some of these newer features, that'll be, a great thing for your business, and you'll definitely see the rewards for it on your insights. So Instagram Reels, this is Instagram copying the TikTok platform, and it's really been working so well for my clients who've implemented it. I had a client, service-based business the other day, beauty business, mentioned to me that her engagement had gone up by 200% since she started using Instagram Reels. I was also consulting with a lovely business owner who has a gym, and we're doing a session actually face-to-face. Most of the sessions I do are online, but she came to have a coffee with me, which was nice. And I had another meeting at the cafe, so I said to her, "Oh, if you're still here when I'm done, I'll see what you're up to with your Facebook ads that she was working on." Anyway, when I finished my next meeting, we had actually just, by the way, posted a reel that she had, created in our session. So she created it before, but we posted it in our session. And when I came back to her after my meeting an hour later, she was like, "Oh, I think there might be a mistake because, my reels had over 1,000 views in an hour." And I was like, no, this is the whole point. This is because her reel was actually, great, but also this is how powerful it is. Sometimes I'm finding, not only me, but we're finding that Instagram Reels can be even more powerful and effective than paid advertising. So, up to 15 or 30-second reels you can create with audio and music as well. I noticed an update on the Reels camera in Instagram last week, where it allowed me to actually also select photos from my camera roll to incorporate into a reel. So that makes it also a bit easier to use because you don't only have to have video, but you really can, take creativity to the next level with new video editing tools, timers, countdowns, speed controls, AR effects, and the music library. Makes it Reels, it will make it easier for your content to reach new audiences, also on a global scale, if that's what you're going for. And, you know, Reels can be recorded in a series of clips, one at a time, all at once, you know, using the Reels camera on your Instagram app, or using video and now photo uploads from your gallery. And one thing I like to also show clients who haven't used Reels before yet is that we will all see a different result in terms of the top results section of Instagram, depending on what the algorithm deems we will be most interested in engaging with, which is dependent on a number of factors. However, if I go to the little search icon and it brings up the top results for my account, regardless of which account you're looking from, as you can see here, that very first thing that's showing up to me is a reel because it's an icon. So regardless of what account you're looking from, I'll switch to another account actually that I manage as an example. The very first thing that you'll see will be a reel, or it'll be one of the very first things. So on my personal business account, and then if I click on there, you can see it's not the very first in terms of the format, but that is a reel there. And yeah, as you can see, it's always one of the very first things that will show up. And I'll come back to my presentation again. Okay. So there's another cool thing that they brought out with Reels called Remix in Reels. So it's a new way to create your own reel alongside an existing reel. So it's an opportunity to create, react, and engage with the trends, songs, and creators that are making culture on Instagram. You can respond to your friends and fans, capture your reaction to the latest trend, or even remix yourself. So this is a visual on how you can actually remix a reel, unless the settings have been disabled for that reel. You'll be able to, you know, go to the 3 dots there, and remix this reel is an option. And you'll see that the screen will split like that with the original reel on the left. And you can either do a recording there and then, or upload from your camera roll. So yeah, if you haven't checked that out, have a look. It's a pretty cool feature. And yeah, it's good to just sort of play around with it to see what you can do. And then the other exciting thing is that we also are able to see insights for Reels now, as well as the reach. So when the feature first came out, insights actually weren't available. We could only see how many views or plays we had, but now you can actually see a lot more metrics, including plays, accounts reach, likes, comments, saves, and shares. You also can see that, and have been able to see that for stories for a while. This also is now available for live, meaning when you go live on Instagram with video. So you'll be able to see accounts reach, peak, concurrent views, comments, and shares, more detailed insights about, you know, your reach, and, you know, breakdowns into the type of accounts you're reaching and which content formats are the most effective at driving reach. So the other thing that I find very awesome about Instagram is that you don't have to guess. Anything that you want to know, you can find through your insights. So that's one of the, you know, real benefits of being on a business or creator account, that you have access to, you know, all of these insights, and it's free. It's within the Instagram app. You can see insights either by, you know, tapping on an individual post, and then you can see that it says view insights here. So if I tap on that, tap on that, comes up like this. And if I actually pull it up, it's going to show a lot of information as to, you know, the actions that have been taken on this post. So how many people have commented, sent, saved, or shared the post, how many profile visits, how many accounts have been reached, where they've come from, if they've come from hashtags, how many follows. So it's really great to check your insights. And you can also go to your profile, your business profile, and there's see how you've got insights there. So if I tap on insights, this is where all the data lives, and you can have a look into insights on your audience, your followers. It will tell you the best time to post for your account each day based on when your followers are online. You can also get, you know, insights into your content, posts, stories, reels. So much data in there, guys. So I suggest, you know, even checking in at least, say, like once a month, just to see which of your content is performing best, and then try to assess why, and then produce more similar content. I've covered that you have these insights for reels, but, you know, just giving you a little bit of a visual on that there. So the other thing that I was just going to say for reels before I keep moving through the presentation, because there are a few more things I'm going to show you. You don't only have to create reels where it's showing your face or, you know, requiring you to be on camera. So what I mean is that you can actually, for example, you could create instructional reels, or you could also be, you know, showing like unboxing videos of new product that's arrived, you know, that sort of thing. And if any of you are on Canva, which is the, you know, design software that is so useful for social media that I mentioned earlier, you can actually go and search for a reel template on there, and then you can adapt and customize and you know, make it look like your brand. And, you know, that could also be an informative type reel, you know, facts about different things that are relevant to your industry or products. So there's heaps of ideas for, you know, things you can do with video on Instagram in general. That doesn't have to always be, you know, showing your face. So yeah, cool. I'll just come back to this. So the next, you know, feature that I'd like to touch on, or latest trend with Instagram, is Instagram shopping. So, you know, I actually did a whole workshop just on Instagram shopping the other week. I also did a whole workshop just on stories and reels. So I could talk about each of these features, you know, for ages. But today I guess I'm just giving you an overview of the most exciting and relevant that you can then sort of delve into further as per, you know, the relevance to your business model. So Instagram shopping is the in-app shopping destination where people can discover products and brands across Instagram. Ultimately, it is a set of features that allows people to shop your photos and videos no matter where they are in the app. So every month, 130 million Instagram users click on shopping posts. 70% of shoppers actually look to Instagram for their next purchase. And currently in Australia, guys, checkout does need to be completed on another e-commerce site. It can be slightly confusing when you read Instagram's guidelines, because it doesn't always equate to what's current in Australia. However, until you sort of like delve into it a lot further, in future, it may be possible, or will be possible, for people to be able to sell directly from the Instagram platform without having to have the checkout enabled on their website. However, at the moment, it does still need to be connected to an e-commerce site such as Shopify, or, you know, a WooCommerce plugin, for example. So this feature is so cool, you know, for e-commerce businesses or anybody that sells online. It has to be physical products as well, guys. So it can't be like, you know, I couldn't, for example, sell a, you know, digital course or book or something or other. It has to be a physical product. So this really turns your business's Instagram account into a shoppable storefront. The product tags allow businesses to highlight products from their catalog in their stories and feed. Collections allow you to, you know, set up and customize your shop by curating your products into themes. Oops, sorry. As you can see here, this is actually some screenshots of Instagram shop fronts on phone, of course, because Instagram is a phone first app. And, you know, you can see that this brand has created these collections, and this one's for the trendy baby. So if you were to click on this one, it would show you all these products that are, you know, relevant to this collection. Or, you know, you could look at the gown and hat sets. All of this actually needs to be set up through the back end of your Facebook business suite through the commerce manager. So yeah, it does actually have to be done on desktop, but then it will allow you to actually create these collections, customize the look of your shop when people click on it, even to, you know, change the color of the buttons and text. So if you haven't looked into that, definitely have a look. You can also customize, you can also customize it for your Facebook shop as well. And the real cool thing here is, you know, that you can tag your products on your ads as well as your posts, or even in your stories. You can even do swipe up to your Instagram shop. You don't have to have, you know, 10,000 followers to enable that feature. It will be available if you have Instagram shopping enabled. And, you know, tagging on your posts and your reels. So it just allows for a really seamless experience, you know, and it means you don't even have to, you don't even have to sell. The whole thing with Instagram is, it's like, one of their guidelines for being successful on their platform is don't sell. When I say that, it's like everything that you're doing is telling your brand story and building your community and trust and connection with your ideal clients. So of course, the whole point is to sell and, you know, make money. But the thing is, if you approach the platform and the content that you're putting out there in the right way, then it will do the selling for you. So, you know, if you haven't seen what the product tags look like on Instagram, just go to any account that sells online that's likely to have it, and I can, you know, show you any example of it. So I will show you one on one of our clients' accounts. So just for a second, I'll stop the share. So for instance, this is a product post that has a tag, because there's a little icon there. That's a little shopping tag. So if I tap on that, it says tap to view products. It'll bring up the products. I can then tap, and I can then go view on website and pretty much go to buy the product on the website. Yeah. So very seamless experience. And, you know, as we were looking at before, Instagram users are, you know, statistically shown to spend more per order as well. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to buy from you. All right. So the other new feature that I'm just going to talk about is called Instagram Guides. So this one isn't as well known, I don't believe, yet as Reels. You can't actually get insights for this feature, but it is actually quite cool and easy to set up when you know about it. So when Instagram said what it's about, they described it as a way to more easily discover recommendations, tips, and other content from your favorite creators public figures, organizations, and publishers on Instagram. So if you've done a guide before, you'll have this little icon here on your profile. And it's pretty much like a cross between a carousel and a blog post. So, it helps your audience find all that relevant content in one place rather than having to scroll through everything you posted to find it. So this is an example of a, yoga mindfulness account, and they have done some guides on, here it is, like mindful movements, for example. So if you click on that guide, it's going to open up, and there's 12 posts in that guide that are going to come up that they've already posted on their profile, for example. But then you can, your clients can tap through and actually see them all in one guide rather than having to scroll through all of your past content. And that, like that little trick that I showed you earlier, where you could share your post to your story, you can also share your guide to your story, which is that example there, so that people can tap on it to actually go and see it. So just to give you a summary of how you can create a guide, this can consist of posts, products, or places. So if you're wanting to have a go at creating your first guide, you can tap the plus icon in the top right corner of your profile. Sometimes some of my clients have the plus sign on a different part of their profile, but as long as you have the latest update of Instagram, you should be able to tap on there and navigate to the last option, which is, excuse me, guide. And then you can choose from 3 types of guides. So, first is a post guide. So this is actually a really easy one to do. I actually was teaching this in a workshop the other day, and one lovely lady did it within, honestly, a few minutes. So you can pretty much choose from content that's already on your feed as in your posts, and or from other accounts, but I'll talk about from your account now, and create a guide. So for example, I've got one on my business account that's branding tips, for example, and in that guide we have selected all of the posts that we've done that are giving people or giving out information or tips or help about how to create consistent and quality branding. You can also create a products guide whereby you curate products available in your Instagram shop. And you can also create a places guide where you share information based on content posted about a specific location. But yeah, for my business and e-com clients, I would say have a go at the posts and or products guide. And yeah, if you want to see a few more examples of how others are doing it, you can also, I always look to the big brands when there's a new feature to see if they are implementing it, because generally, Nike and those, global beasts have unlimited resources. So generally, if a feature is worth doing, they'll be doing it. So yeah, have a look at some brands like that and see how they're doing it. So yeah, if you guys have any questions so far, by the way, please feel free to type them in the chat box, because I normally leave some time for questions, but a lot of you I know will also be tuning in afterwards. So yeah, all good. You can also email me back after you've seen the recording if you have any comments or feedback. But those were the main features that I wanted to cover on today. So the reels, the guides, stories, reels, guides, shopping. And now I'm going to just share with you guys some of my tips for success, how to maximize and implement and coordinate with these features. So, and in general with your content. I sort of mentioned a little bit about the third one, but Instagram, when they released their top tips for, being successful on their platform, it was these three, literally. So be authentic. Oops. So honestly, especially nowadays, there's just so much fake crap out there. So if you actually show up and you are authentic and showing people that you're, walking your talk and you are your brand, and you're, coming from a place of, generally wanting to help and provide value and change the world or fulfill a need, it's going to shine through. So I always encourage my clients, my business owning clients, to please show up on your social media. I know a lot of you hesitate at first and just don't really want to, especially on video, but believe me, once you start, you will see the insights and the feedback about how well received it is. And it doesn't matter honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of business I'm looking at the insights for. And Sally, my assistant designer, who's amazing, would also reiterate this. Always within the top most well received posts and content are the posts that humanize the brand. So it's either showing the actual business owner or team or customers, but not the whole, polished stuff, but literally just showing up and showing something personal. Secondly is be transparent. What this was mainly referring to is, say, for instance, paid partnerships with influencers and or bloggers, because everybody knows you're getting paid, so just admit it. And then the third one was don't sell. So it's like, Instagram, people want to be inspired. They want to be taken on a journey. They don't want to be, sold to hard, because they want to engage with content that's actually giving them some value, some inspiration, some, insight into something that they want to know. That is going to be a lot more powerful brand storytelling, not, hard selling and, trying to just get a, quick fix. Also, this is still very relevant in terms of success on the platform. So I always tell clients, no matter what you see out there, just try it for yourself. If you do a post and you actually use all 30 hashtags, which is the limit on your post, it's pretty much giving you 30 chances to 30 opportunities to have unpaid advertising working for you while you sleep. As in, hashtags are like your Google keywords of Instagram. And so therefore, it's going to help people who are interested in your brand or, type of business find you if you're using hashtags relevant to your brand and audience. And it's really worth putting together a good list to help direct people to your posts. The general rule of thumb in terms of the numbers on hashtags is to use hashtags with 500,000 or less search volume on them, meaning how many posts exist on Instagram which use that hashtag. You can, of course, mix and match and use a few bigger ones in there, but generally speaking, the really massive ones are going to be more spammy, harder to show up for because there's so much out there, and most likely less relevant or likely to bring you authentic followers because they're not as, niche. So for example, I'll just give you a quick example. Instead of going hashtag wellness, because there's probably, I'd say, I don't know, billions of hashtag use of wellness, you could go hashtag Perth wellness, which I think is, probably sitting at around 500K. But you can see the numbers yourself by actually searching the hashtags on Instagram with your search bar. So yeah, don't miss out on your hashtags. And here are a few little insights as well for creating content. So recently I saw the stat that carousel posts on Instagram actually get more organic interactions than both video and images. This probably will be shifting because of the fact that Instagram is moving towards prioritizing video. However, carousel posts are a great thing to still include. That post of my business that I mentioned where it was having huge engagement, is a carousel post. It actually had some video in it as well as photos. And this example here, is just showing you how you can use the carousel post format creatively, because people are tapping and scrolling to see your images and or video. And also the most popular type of video content on Instagram, guys, is actually how-to tutorials. And also posts that include a geolocation get nearly 80% more engagement. Geolocation is just the fancy way of saying every time you do a post, add a location in your post where it's got the add location option. And if you are not, tagging in at your storefront, for example, that doesn't matter. You can do your city. If you are a brand that interacts or sells to people across Australia, you can use different states each time, or cities. So if you're a Perth local business that services various suburbs or has customers in various suburbs, do different suburbs, or as per relevant to your post. So don't forget, you can actually also include a location sticker on your stories. I find that when I do that, the stories get a lot more views as well. And you can, as I touched on before, you can also delve into your insights under the audience section to see when your audience is online. So, i.e. the best time for your account to post each day. However, as a general rule of thumb, on average, Instagram users engage most in the afternoon from 1 to 5 p.m. I find from 1 to 6 p.m. It really depends on who your audience is and where they are. So, of course, if they're in a different time zone, then that would vary. If they are a younger audience, that may vary because they may be checking it, at different times to say a, maybe working audience that's, checking it at lunch or after work. So yeah, pretty much what I would just say is check your insights, don't guess. I like to check insights on everything on Instagram. When I say everything, I just mean, I don't assume anything because it's such a fast changing and evolving platform. So the fact that all of this valuable information is so easily and readily available for free at our fingertips is great. Also, it gives you, more data to confirm whether your audience demographics is, on par with what you would have guessed as well. And it can inform you a bit more before you, if you're planning to run any paid advertising campaigns as, per your targeting options, etc. So I love to refer to this 80-20 rule. I know it's not original. I haven't made it up because it's used very much in different applications in life. So in terms of Instagram and social media content, this is your rule. I did record another video on this, which I'll happily share with you guys when I email you after this, and you'll get the recording from this. But pretty much this is the rule. So 80% of the time when you're creating content for Instagram, you want to inform, inspire, or entertain your target client, ideal client. 20% of the time, you can focus on, talking or covering solely things related to your products or services. So this is a very good, ratio to keep in mind, because a lot of the time, perhaps when businesses haven't been in the marketing realm, they may have thought it to be the opposite. But if you can reverse engineer this and also always think about, what does your ideal client want? What do they need? What do they want to know? Or what do they, what's going to make them feel good? Or, what's going to help them understand something that's a challenge for them? What's going to sort of like, what's going to speak to them? That's really going to be your formula for success. It sounds really simple, and it actually really is. It's just about, shifting your mindset for your content creation. And yeah, I usually just leave a few minutes if there are any questions, but gosh, there's a lot to cover with Instagram for business these days. But I love teaching this topic. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and thank you to Business Station and the Australian Small Business Advisory Services Digital Solutions Program. If you don't know about the program, head on to their website, businessstation.com.au. You can also connect with me. I am McNaught Media, Kasia from McNaught Media. If you go to my Facebook page as well, all of my events will be, upcoming events, etc., will be on there. And of course, Instagram, when you click the link in bio, and you can find me on there. So I would love to hear from you. And yeah, all I can say is don't be afraid to show up as well on your Instagram, on your social media. Just to wrap up, I was just going to give an example. So yesterday I was also watching a video that a fitness and mindset guy that I follow called James Smith released. And what it was showing was an example of a throwback to his video content from 5 years ago versus now. And he was saying pretty much that he looked back at his content from 5 years ago and he thought it was cringeworthy and it was awful. But he was so proud of it because ultimately he kept going. And this guy's built, I think he's got a following of 850K followers, etc. But it's not about the numbers, it's the engagement. And he's built this like really dedicated following, and not because he's really amazing at creating content. He's good at it now, but his point, and the point I'm trying to get at, is that he was saying that, when he first started doing it, he, thought that he wasn't very good at all. But the point is that he kept showing up every single day, consistently posting every single day, consistently sending out his emails, writing blog articles that hardly anyone read, or videos that didn't get a lot of engagement. But because of the fact that he didn't give up and he kept doing this every single day, he was saying that, the same applies to everyone. So if you see somebody like him who's very good at it, it's not because they were, born that way. It's because they've got more experience or more practice than what you do, for instance. So you can't really win or lose on social media. Just keep showing up, and it will pay off down the track. It's even though social media is a little bit of a, sort of quick fix mentality in terms of how fast it evolves and how fast we consume it, it is actually about the long game, and it is actually about getting in front of your ideal people, and then getting, for example, their email addresses so that you can then keep the connection and relationship going with them off the platforms. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And I look forward to connecting with you again. And as I said, please feel free to reach out to me if you have any suggestions, feedback, requests for any different topics. that you'd like to be covered or seen. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and yeah, speak to you soon. Thanks very much, guys.